them at work, like work magazines that like the district requires me to read or something like that. But other than that, I don't.
I work in a salon, so there's constantly magazines flowing in and out, but they're more like gossip, up to date with that, some parenting type stuff. But pretty much every day they're involved in my life somehow.
I don't look at them, you know, when you go to some, like a restaurant or something, and there's magazines there. I don't really read them that much in my house, other than like the newspaper. So unless you have like a subscription to a magazine that you get, I'll be looking into that, but I hardly ever do.
So, like, if you're at a store looking for looking at magazines, waiting for the time, something like that, what is it that draws your attention to a specific magazine?
The cover,
Yeah, what's on the cover?
pictures.
Like what articles are in it.
Does that ever drive you to buy it? Or is it just, I guess we already kind of talked about that.
Yeah, if there's something on the cover that interests me, I'll buy it. Yeah. Or at least I would pick it up and read it. You know, if I'm sitting somewhere at a doctor's office and there's not a magazine that the cover interests me at all, I'm not going to really flip through it. I have subscriptions with my salon, but it's mainly just like the gossip type, Vogue type magazines. So more than that. But I always look at them when they come. I always open them and look through each one. So.
We get decorating and cooking magazines in our house, and then the Golf Digest. But I prefer
I kind of feel like this magazine has a lot of advertisements mixed in with the articles, so it's kind of hard for me. Like, there's a lot going on one page. It's
Like
hard
clutter?
Yeah, it's too much for me to look at, so I don't really notice the article. Or I kind of just don't really notice anything, really. I just kind of think, oh, that's a lot. I'm going to flip to the next page.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I kind of feel that like
Yeah.
the advertisement is competing with the article. So I think, you know,
Yeah.
if you want to look at the article, there's
Which
an
is like,
advertisement just calling your attention.
which is like the same reason I don't read a lot of gossip magazines, because I can't ever find the article that's on the cover. And I'm not very patient. Like, I won't spend the time to look for it.
Like, I guess something like this for me is easier to look at than like something that Brandon just had, like a, because it's like one page of advertisement, one page of article, where some of these other ones, there's like 8 different articles on the page plus or 8 different advertisements plus an article. It's just hard to, so I think maybe if it was sectioned off a little differently, it'd be easier for me to want to read things in it. I like that they have cooking things in here. That's something that would interest me. Yeah, the recipes and things.
What would you suggest if you were in charge of making this magazine?
I
What
put
do you
something
put
like
it
that
in?
on the front.
Something
I
for
put-
you, for your generation.
Yeah,
Eliminate
I would switch up the cover a little bit and maybe put different things on the cover, not necessarily like a picture of a family. I'd put a recipe of something, or if there's something about BYU sports, put it on the cover, a picture of it, because that, I'm going to look at a picture more so than I'm going to read something in little letters.
So content, like what would you put there? What would be interesting for you to read?
I like pictures that deal with the article, like this. Little short snippets
Uh-huh.
with a picture. I like that. And I also think it'd be cool if they did almost like a newspaper, but they had like a whole coupon section if they have to have their advertising to pay for the magazine.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Like, this thing is cool. I like that they do this in the back of it
Uh-huh.
with the, like, the little advertisements. Like, that's something I'm going to look at a lot more than I am all these random advertisements on the side of things. You don't do a ton on Sunday, but, I mean, it's just like an article that maybe I would actually flip through, but because there was all this stuff on the sides, I didn't really notice the words. So kind of going back to the, like how the magazine is, they should have all of their advertisements in one place on one page, not mixed in with their.
My thought would be if I'm going to look at a magazine, you know, if I'm going to look at a magazine, my first thing is going to be, okay, I'm interested in the content. But for somebody like my mom or my mother-in-law who would look at this, they would be looking at it, and my mother-in-law thinks that these coupons and these ads are the greatest thing in the world. And that's just how she is. And so she's going to look for those regardless. So why not put them all in the same section?
Yeah.
You know, or, you know, it doesn't mean they all have to be in the back or all in the middle. But, you know, have a story, and then you can have a couple pages of advertisement, and then have the complete story, just so that the ads don't distract you from what you're trying to read. Because ultimately, you're not going to have a good magazine if the content's not good.
Yeah. I'm just realizing now, as I'm like kind of flipping through it again, there's actually stories in here that I would read, but the first time I flipped through it, it was too much for my eyes. Like I didn't even really look at the article because
What